The grey man does whatever a grey man can. Can he make a comic feed? Yes, he can. He just did. Watch now, a video from Grey Man. A video from Grey Man.
Hey folks, it's the Grey Man here again. Welcome to Blogsville. It's Bloggy time once again. I'm around my gorgeous Lisa's house. I'm lying on the bed, as I do most of the time when I'm around here. But we've got some drinky left over from my birthday. So cheers. Have a great amazing day. This is Fireball whiskey with ginger and apple juice. Oh. Busy sorting out some interviews with bands for my YouTube channel. Some heavy metal bands, of course, because heavy metal is my thing. It's what I'm into. Interview on Friday with a band called Under a Spell. You will be familiar with Under a Spell's music. Kind of, because the guy Tom from that band is the guy who's done the music for my comic book intros. So he's the one who did the Grey Man on his guitar, and also the Grey Man. He's playing the guitar. Like I played him on my podcast before, and I just sort of put it out there. Said, "Can anyone do me a guitar version of Batman theme?" And like he went, "Yeah, no problem. I'll do it for you. Let me know when you want to buy. I can." And he just straight away just did it for me. It was like, "Oh, cheers, mate." And a little while later, I was like, "That's where you can do it." He went, "Yeah, no problem." So he's a really cool guy, and he's like guitar in his band Under a Spell, and his wife Pam. I think it's Pam. He's the singer for his band, so I'm looking forward to talking to them too. I'm pretty sure it's Pam. My brain goes, it might be Pat, but I'm pretty sure it's Pam. Anyway, but so I'm interviewing them on Friday on my channel, and on Saturday I've got an interview a band called Cryosphere. I need to sort the time out for that, actually. I need to have a quick word with them. It should be on Saturday. But yeah, let's just tell you, I had a bit of a journey from to Lisa's from my house today. It was a rather long journey. The trains all seem to be delayed, and everything should take for ages. In fact, the my Oyster card, which is what you pay you touch in and touch out, and it charges you how much it's supposed to charge you. I think it overcharged me because the journey took so long. If for some reason it thought I was, I don't know, mucking about or something, or I'd taken more journeys than I should have done, I don't know. But it charged me double what it should have charged me, which was rather annoying. So I'm going to have to see if I can sort that out. Anyway, because it took so bloody long. Anyway, but let me show you what I've read on the journey, or what I have read recently. We've been getting through these adventure comics. Right, they're cool because these ones as well. These are 48 pages, and they've got some cool old stories in as well, actually. So this one has got like an alien who looks menacing. Supergirl isn't able to capture him, but he looks menacing. He's not menacing. He's just trying to get back home, but everyone wants to shoot on sight. Supergirl wants this. She wants to try and capture him, but these guys are like, no, we're going to kill him on sight. You stay out of the way. And this little boy befriends him, feeds him when he's hungry, and he fixes his arm because his arm's not his paralysed arm, and the alien fixes it with some potion, not some potion, but some super science pills basically, and then the authorities catch up with him and kill the alien, and it's like. It's the old, oh look, but he cured my son, and he was my friend, and Supergirl's like, oh, what have we done? That kind of thing. Supergirl was trying to save him anyway, but obviously he wasn't a bad alien. But it's just just a sad ending, really. They do seem to be kind of like Twilight Zone-esque, some of Supergirl's stories. They do seem to have like a bit of a moral kind of thing going on with them. Slightly. There's the little boy at the end hugging the dead alien, and everyone's standing around, and wow, it sure took a lot to finish him off. And his dad's going, my boy's arm, he performed a miracle. I thought he was a monster. Everybody said he was a dangerous monster, but he wasn't. He was just an alien trying to get back home. And it's kind of sad that Supergirl wasn't able to save him, really. Then we've got Legion of Superheroes tale, the weddings that wreck the Legion. Basically, they're not supposed to have. Apparently, they weren't supposed to get married in the Legion, and it ends up being a bit of a ruse. Two of the couples team up to. They've already got boyfriend girlfriend, but they decide to leave the Legion and get married, and that leaves them open to be infiltrated by some some bad guy aliens, but that was all part of the plan. It was all part of Brainiac's plan. They was going to, basically, they thought that anyone who's going to try and infiltrate us is going to be the bad guys, basically. They're going to take this opportunity to try and infiltrate our ranks. And they were correct. They discovered where their planet was, and they was able to take them out. Yeah, good stuff. But quite a long story as well, but these are like reprints. And then later on, one of the other later books, I think it's the first appearance of Animal Man. I think it's a reprint of the first appearance of Animal Man. And this is like I don't know where this came from originally, Warrior Shepherd. It's probably from maybe it's from an older adventurous comic, I'm not sure. But it's like a sheep herder, and there's like a battle going on in Scotland. And when the pipes stop piping, the soldiers lose their morale and run off. And the young sheep herder, he creates an avalanche. Then he picks the pipes up, starts to play. That rallies the troops, and they get back and win the fight. And he's like bloodied but not dead. And they march off to the castle to rejoice the winning of the battle, kind of thing. So that was a decent comic. I enjoyed that one. I'm liking all these adventures. They're all kind of. They're not quite. Well, I think they're a little bit after the Silver Age ones I'm reading. I think these are the early 70s, but like an era that I had not read that many of before, you know. But I'm glad to be getting them. I like Supergirl's costumes as well. She quite often has a different costume. She has like a hot pants costume, and this one she's got a full body costume. But she looks, gorgeous in any costume that she has, really. Right, and this one, this alien woman pretends to be Supergirl to attract Supergirl's attention. Then she tests her that she's for invulnerability, and then she says, "Look, I've let these insects go. They're going to, help spread plague across your planet unless you come with me, and I'll stop them if you come with me," kind of thing. It turns out that they need her to be a champion against this evil general who's trying to usurp them, kind of thing, and it has to be champion versus champion. So she fights to the death, but she refuses to kill the giantess that she manages to defeat. And she appeals to the people, saying, "Look, you had this contest of champions to fight, to stop war, to stop needless killing. So why would you want me to kill her? If the whole point of this champion versus champion is to stop, unneeded deaths. Why do I have to kill her?" And they all go, "Yeah, Supergirl is right." And yeah, so she lets the champion is allowed to, the other champion is allowed to go. But then there's some more shenanigans going on where the king who thought he was going to be usurped has made a deal with the usurper to let him take over, as long as he lets them both have high positions in his government, kind of thing. And then he tries to take over with the army. Supergirl gets involved, of course, as she does. It ends up being a fight between the usurper and the usurpee, and the sort of the good guy. The people who are in charge are kind of like seem to be the good guys. They win anyway. And it turns out that when she was pretending to be Supergirl, she stole some stuff. That's why Supergirl was chasing after her, and she'd returned it all. And the insects that were biting people wasn't really spreading the plague. Everyone who got bit was fine in 5 minutes after being bitten, kind of thing. But was there a moral to the story of this one? I don't think there was so much as a moral in this one. No, just a happy ending at least. A happy ending. And then I was the man with animal powers. So I'm guessing it's not the first time. This is not the first appearance of Animal Man, but I'm sure it's not. It'd be very nice if it was, but I highly doubt that it is. So I believe this is just a reprint of that first appearance of Animal Man. He's not a coward, but he's like very timid. Like he's trying to ask his wife out. Of course, most of his run, he's been married with kids, hasn't he? But in this one, he hasn't had the courage to actually ask her to marry him yet. and also in his early appearances, he has to be quite close in proximity to animals to be able to get their powers, and it wears out after a while as well. In one of the later comic books, after his first appearance, he seems to be like a backup character for a while in Supergirl. In one of the comic books, he's plotting out all the different locations of animals, like zoos and parks and that, so he can get their powers when he's nearby. And certain parts of the town, he's not close enough to any major animal places to actually be able to get any animal powers. It's obviously they've changed that in modern ones. But anyway, in this first one, there's a crashed alien ship that explodes and gives it sort of coats him with radiation that gives him the power to control animals. And the alien who was on the ship, he also has them powers as well. There's an escaped fairground circus train. It broke down or whatever, and the animals escaped, so he gets their powers. He manages to corral all the escaped zoo animals, and then he uses the animal powers against the alien. He sort of holds a mouse up, and the alien takes on the mouse's powers and the mouse's fear, and he manages to scare it off a cliff. So a little bit silly. Then at the very end, he manages to get the gumption, the gall, the bravery to ask his lady friend to marry him, and then he promptly faints. But she does say yes. So he must have something going for him, even if he's not the most outgoing of chaps. Bit like me. Yeah. Come on, get back in there. Get back in there, comic book. Yeah, but these are nice. These 48-page runs are really cool. It's kind of like I love old Supergirl was cute and lovely, and she's fun read. And it's just like, oh, I'm gonna get to Crisis one day, and she's gonna be dead. There is some where I heard, I don't know if it's apocryphal or what, but it was told that this is meant to be shaped like a phallus. To sort of, I don't know, because sex sells apparently, and but I just think that's a bit too. It looks vaguely phallus-like, I suppose, vaguely phallic, but it's just like it's a little bit weird. I'm sure they wouldn't have done that on purpose. But I heard somewhere that they're supposed to have done that on purpose, but it just seems like a very weird thing to me. Why would you do that? But anyway. She goes to an alien. There's 3 guys who her minds are linked together, and they're called the Mind Warp. And there's only other person they see on the planet is their son. He controls the plant life, and the 3 sorcerers together who create the Mind Warp. They're at war with the other side of the planet. The other side of the planet wiped out everyone apart from them and one of their guys' sons. They manage to infect Supergirl with hatred for the western side of the planet. She goes to try and attack it. The son, who was dead but then goes back to life again from his father's magic, tries to stop her. The anger of the revenge boils over, and they end up killing each other, kind of thing. Yeah, that's the long and the short of it. And then the backup story is that Animal Man that I told you about, where he's trying to find the locations of zoos. Is that the one where he's trying to find locations of zoos? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, at one point he's trying to type in some animals that are being loaded off of like a zoo ship, and it turns out they're all baby animals. He's only getting a portion of strength from them because they're only young animals. Right, and there's also a backup story in here, like a sci-fi story where some guy, these are the Starmen, it's called, and there's this guy who was trying to get these jewels on these planets where there's all these stone statues, and the stone statues turn out to be, men made out of stone, and their rare actually turns people into statues. So he actually goes there to try and claim the jewels for himself, and he ends up being just another one of the statues, basically. He's very Twilight Zone-esque. Oh yeah, and then there's a Superman and Supergirl backup story where Superman gets turned into a monster from Krypton. Red Kryptonite turns him into the monster that he was just thinking of, which was an old Kryptonite beast. And he spends the issue trying to let people know that he's Superman. But every time he gets close to sort of like letting them know, they sort of attack him with something, and he has to get away, not because they're necessarily hurting him, although they are possibly going to get some kryptonite. In fact, they do end up getting kryptonite to try and kill him, knowing that he's a Kryptonian beast. But, yeah, most of the time they fire bullets at him, and because they're bouncing off him, he has to get away so they don't bounce off and hurt anybody. that kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, they find out in the end. Eventually, they use some kryptonite bullets on him just as Supergirl arrives. And Supergirl gets weakened by the kryptonite. He saves her, and that's when they realise that he's not a slavering beast, even though he's not actually killed anybody. So, you know, and he's supposed to be a Kryptonian beast. You would have thought, well, why has he not hurt anybody if he's a slavering beast? But, yeah, thinking of things through carefully in comic books is not a thing. In this one, there's another sci-fi kind of story. Some aliens come down to get this, to activate this giant robot. This guy's made a giant robot, but he thinks it's useless. But these aliens go down to reactivate it using their alien science to make it run properly. And they send it to attack the cities, basically. Supergirl takes it out. And at the end of the story, they've gone to another super professor to make his robot active. So it's like a circular kind of story. They haven't learned that. They're still trying to take out the Earth, basically. Was there a backup story in this one? Yeah, Vigilante. The old masked motorbike riding cowboy. In this one, it's a story of racism. There's these black cowboys doing a rodeo show, and then these white supremacist types are saying, "Oh, cowboys weren't black, even though they historically were. There were lots of black cowboys. You know, they you know, as much to win the West and all that as anybody." I don't know the full ins and outs, of course, but I know there definitely was. But anyway, these racists tried to kick them out of town, kind of thing. Try to stop them from setting up their rodeo show. Yeah, it's got a sad ending because one of the cowboys gets killed, one of the black cowboys gets killed, but the rest of these family and friends managed to capture and take out the racists, basically. Racist arseholes. Right. This one, pretty much what it says on the tin almost. She finds these. Basically, she's working as a reporter at this time, and she's got an informant who's telling her about some info about a mob boss that she's making exposés on as a reporter, and he starts getting scared for some reason. He doesn't want to give her any more facts, so she tries to trace him down and find out what the score is, why he's, and he ends up getting killed. And she discovers there's a mad scientist working for the mob who's basically teleporting people out into space. That's how he gets rid of them. They just disappear. He teleports them off into space, and she takes him out, obviously. But then she quits her job because she thinks that her colleague sort of gave the game away, something like that. She basically quits. So I don't know. I'm not sure when the Supergirl's run on the venture finishes, but I dare say if I get the rest of them or some other ones later, I'll find out what happens. Yeah. But her colleague's someone called Nastalfia. It's like her nickname is Nasty, and she's like the niece of Lex Luthor or something. And she's trying to find out that Linda Danvers is actually Supergirl. She suspects it for a fair bit. But anyway, and then I've gone on to now. So there's quite a jump. That's two. No, it's not that big a jump. 424, and this is 431. So I'm assuming the rest up to this is still Supergirl. But this is the first adventure comics with Spectre in it. Yeah, I got this run pretty cheap, actually, the Spectre run. I was very happy with that. Yeah, and this is the first one. And they're not wrong about what people said about it. But it's violent deaths. There's no kind of like chance of redemption for the villains. So there's I can't remember where the backup story was now. Actually, let's look at the backup story as well. But yeah, there's a armoured car robbery. There's one guy in the gang who guns down the security guards, even though the other people say, "Hey, no, there's no need to do that." They were kind of like, "You shouldn't have done that." They'd already been apprehended. They'd already ready to surrender, and then one of their gang gets injured, and rather than getting him in the car, this same guy kills him instead, stopping him from talking. And anyway, they get away with the money, but the Spectre tracks them all down, and he shows no more mercy to the ones not responsible for killing people, as he does for the one, in fact, possibly the one that did give the killing, probably got better off, because you didn't see him sort of suffering so much. He just, 1 minute, he was holding a air hostess captive, next minute it goes dark, and it goes light again. He's just skeleton. He's just a skeleton on the floor. But there's another guy who didn't, he didn't kill anybody. Although he's part of the gang, obviously, and he melts him, and that kind of been, I think I'd rather be disappeared turned to bones in seconds, or in a fraction of a second, rather than standing there watching myself melt. Anyway, that's it. That's my comics for the day. And apparently it's dinner time. Lisa's just coming with my dinner. Ooh, big fat burgers, babe. Apparently it's double cheeseburger day, someone told me today, babe. But it's not double cheeseburger, it's chicken burgers you got.
We've got double chicken burgers.
Oh, we've got double chicken burger. That'll do.
They're mine. I've got mayo on them.
All right, babe. Cheers, babe.
Oh, I'm bringing mine in because there's a fly in the kitchen and I want to watch...
All right, babe. There, you hear it there. Lisa's coming in to have her dinner, and I'm going to be eating my dinner, and I'll be uploading this. Cheers for watching, and till next time, have a great, amazing day, and may all your news be good news. For color commentary, he's got a contest running right now. Go and sub him up and see if you can win something. Sub him up for color commentary. For color commentary.